Hello, my friends. Welcome to Kurt Berglund's Baseball World. You know, one of the questions that I get all the time is, Kurt, what is your favorite magazine? And the second question that I get all the time is, Kurt, how do I do PDFs? If I buy a PDF, is it smarter to go to a print shop? Is it smarter to print it myself? Do I need to buy a printer? Is that the cheap route? What do I do? Well, this video is going to show you what I do, and then hopefully we can start a discussion in the comments below about what has worked for you. I'd like to know, and maybe we can learn from each other. I'm not a printing expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I have printed a lot of stuff in a lot of different places, and I'll share those thoughts with you in this video today. Here we go. You've purchased a PDF, and now you're wondering, what in the heck do you do with it? Well, my first option is to use my Hewlett-Packard 2700 printer and print that baby out. Now, with a Hewlett-Packard printer, you have the option, which I do take advantage of, to go with their HP Smart program. The HP Smart program allows you to get a continual supply of printer ink shipped to you at no additional charge other than the subscription price. Okay, so what you see to your right here, and we'll take a look at these up close. As part of this program, you get ink, whether it's color or black ink, whatever you need, shipped to you on an as-needed basis. Now, how do you know that that's needed? How does HP know you need stuff as needed? Well, let's take a look at that. Here's how they know. Your printer is connected via the internet to Hewlett-Packard, where they monitor your ink use. Here's my black ink use, it's almost out. Here's my color, and you can see that that is doing very well. So, as you print, you can see this is the recognition of my internet connection here. And as you print, I'll get a little bit closer. Hewlett-Packard gets information, I'm sorry, I switched that around. The color is on the left, the black is on the right. And Hewlett-Packard gets information from my printer about how much I've used, ink I've used, and then they ship the new cartridges to me whenever I need them. HP also has a paper service that you can take advantage of, where they will ship paper to you on a regular basis as you need it, because they know how many copies you're making. Now, the HP Smart system allows you to subscribe to their system for a certain number of pages every month that you print. That's sort of how they know, it's one way, how they know how much ink to ship you. My subscription, I print a lot of stuff, as you can imagine. My wife also prints a fair amount of material. And so we do 300 pages a month on our subscription, and that's about $12. How much you pay and how much you print varies, and if you exceed that, there's an additional charge for going over the limit. The reverse is also true. If you're in the HP Smart program and you don't print, in my case, all 300 sheets in a month, then you can bank those for use later on. So I like the HP Smart program because, number one, ink can get really expensive, and the way that I go through ink, this makes it cheaper for me. It also is more convenient. It just is nice to know that they're going to ship you the ink that you need. They know when you need it, they ship it to you, and you're good to go. Usually, now there's 3 settings on my particular printer. I can go with a draft setting, which is the worst quality. It's sort of the lightest version, but it's certainly dark enough for what I need. And there's like a medium, and then there's like the ultimate darkest, brightest, poppiest print setting. I use the draft, so even though I'm using pages, I'm not going through my ink as fast as they think I am, so it's shipped. And again, that's all based on usage. It's not an additional charge, but I just like to have more on hand than I think that I would use. And so it's kind of nice. That's why you saw those cartridges out by my printer. So printing a PDF yourself is the first option. I put up a diagram here for us to compare what I see your options as being for printing a PDF. And the first one is to print it yourself. I'm showing you, and I showed you, the HP Smart System that I use. You are billed paid 4 pages per month in a plan. You get the ink shipped to you, and if you want, now I don't do this, but you can get the paper shipped to you as well. So all of that, doing it yourself that way is your first option. Now I have had a non-HP printer, and I've tried to do the printing of PDFs myself, and I just haven't liked the quality and the pain in the neck that running out to the store to get new ink cartridges represents to me. It just isn't worth it to me. But there is that way to go as well. All right. Your next choice, and an option that I also have used, is going to, and I'm not going to name the store because that would be wrong and it would seem like an endorsement or maybe a criticism. So I'm going to talk about the name that it rhymes with. Okay? So this isn't the actual name of the store. It's the name that it rhymes with. So the store that I've gone to in the past rhymes with Office Depot, and sometimes it rhymes with Office Max. Not the real name. It's what it rhymes with. Okay. Now, when you go to Office Depot, and again, I've done this plenty, you have a range of paper options that you can choose from. It's not just whatever there is at Walmart. And by the way, that's where I get my cardstock. I buy my cardstock at Walmart, and the reason I do it is it's cheap. But I'm going to come back to that topic in just a minute. I also buy my printer paper at Walmart. Why? Because it's cheap. And with my $12 a month printing costs, I want to cut back somewhere, and that's where I've chosen to do it. So you have a variety, not at Office Max or Office Depot. It rhymes with Office Max and Office Depot. You get your choice of paper. They have 3 different types, or they did when I went there. I don't know if they still do. It's been a couple of years now. You have online access to Office Max and Office Depot, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. They are fast. I've got to say that for them. They get the projects done quickly, and they're ready for you. You do pay a little bit more at the rhymes with Office Max and Office Depot. Online access, what does that mean? Well, it means that if you go to their website, there is a way for you to upload files and then send your print order into them to work on without you ever having to be there. Now, it also allows you to do curbside pickup if you want. Or you can go into the store as well and pick up your item that way. The people at Office Max and Office Depot, in my experience, are well trained. They know what they're doing. They're friendly. Do you pay a little more? Yes, you do. Why do you do that? Well, part of it, I think, is you're paying for that privilege of being able to use the online access. Part of it is that it's a large corporation And part of it, of course, is to pay for the upkeep of all that equipment. But I've had good experiences there, but you do pay a little bit more for the ability to do that. On the plus side, you're not having to manage a printer in your own home. So that may be worth it to you. That's option number 2. Option number 3 is a local print shop. Now, if you live in an area that has them, I do. I live in Milwaukee, and there are a number of them. Some are good, some are not so good. Some specialize in doing the kind of printing that I need to get baseball sims and cards done. Some, especially those that do a lot of business card work, would be a good choice to get this kind of work done. A local print shop also will have a variety of paper that you can choose from. That's nice. Your wait time will vary at a local print shop. It won't be as quick, maybe, as at a company that rhymes with Office Max or Office Depot, but you do save a little bit of money over a company that rhymes with Office Max or Office Depot. So if you can fit into their schedule, which to me has been the bigger challenge, because they're typically on a local print shop is not online access, where you can go to their website and plug in your file for them to print, although some of them that I've worked with do let you ship them emails with the attached files, and they work with those. So that can be almost as good. The people at the local print shop that I work with are very nice and very professional. If they weren't, I wouldn't go back. And I think that local print shops, especially in this era of social distancing and COVID and businesses changing, if they're not nice, if they're not customer friendly, if they're jerks, they don't stay in business very long because people don't have time for them. At least that's my experience. And so they're professional. And people say, well, don't go to a place that rhymes with Office Max or Office Depot because that's a huge corporation. Well, okay, that's true. But there's humans working at a place that rhymes with Office Max and Office Depot as well. So everybody needs work, everybody needs a job. You're helping people regardless. It's just a question of what's the best fit for you. So your local print shops, you get your choice of paper, you have to fit into their schedule, and a lot of times that's not hard to do. You're going to get it pretty quick, and you're going to save a little bit of money. Now I want to say a word about cardstock before we wrap up the video. Cardstock is something that's very important to all of us as gamers because we tend to get, especially with some experience in gaming, we tend to get kind of opinionated about what we like in cardstock and what we don't. We know, don't we, that when we order cards from a particular company, sometimes the cardstock isn't so good, and that will actually make us hesitate to buy from them again or even to play that particular sim. I know that's the case for me. I've gotten to be a little bit cardstock snobby. The more sims that I play, the more that is starting to matter to me. It used to not matter at all. Now it's in there. So what cardstock are you looking for? Well, everybody says, in my experience, well, I use 110-pound cardstock. That's the only kind for me. The problem is that when you say, I use 110-pound cardstock, that's the only kind for me, is that I have observed that there is a range of quality and type of 110-pound cardstock. There's Walmart 110-pound cardstock. That's one type. Then there's that company that rhymes with Office Max and Office Depot. They have 3 kinds of 110-pound cardstock. And your local print shop. My local print shop that I worked with, I think, had 3 or 4 different types of 110-pound cardstock. And guess what? They're all different. They're all a different weight. They're a different weight to the touch. And so, even though they say 110-pound cardstock, I would really, really advise you that if you're going to go with either the company that rhymes with Office Max or Office Depot or a local print shop, that you go there and you feel the paper before you have an order printed, assuming that it's going to be just like every other 110-pound cardstock, because they're not. Even if you decide to print it yourself and you go to Walmart and you pick up a ream of the Walmart cardstock, thinking that you're saving yourself money, and you probably are, but you may not be satisfied with the quality of paper that you're getting. And so it may be something where you go, you buy some, you check it out, you even try it with a team or 2 of cards and see how it feels in your hand. But you may end up going somewhere like Amazon and trying a different 110-pound cardstock from a different company and see if that's more to your liking. Now there's also the question of your finish on your 110-pound cardstock. You can go with matte or glossy, or they have one in between and I forget what that's called. But if you buy the glossy and you run it through your HP 2700 series printer like I have, that's going to smudge all over your thumb, and it doesn't matter if you let it dry for 48 hours or not. So if you're looking for, you got to try these out. The matte finish works fine, but if you're going to run glossy paper through your HP printer, in my experience, it smudges and you're not going to be happy with it. On the other hand, if you're going to the company that rhymes with Office Max or Office Depot or your local printer and you tell them you want glossy cardstock, they're going to be able to print it out for you and you're going to have no problem. It's going to be perfect. It'll be shiny and you'll be good to go. But printing on glossy myself, I have not had good experiences with. All right, so what have we learned? One more time. We've learned that you have several printing options to do it yourself. The one I've selected is to do the HP Smart System, but you can certainly pick a printer on your own that's not part of HP, and you can crank those babies out yourself. Get your own paper, get your own ink cartridges, and have at it. That's option 1. Option 2 is to go to a company that rhymes with Office Max or Office Depot. Knowing that you have your choice of paper, you've got online access through their website, and you're probably going to get it quickly. You're going to pay a little bit more for all of that, but it may be worth it to you. And third, if you live in an area with one or more, local print shops are a wonderful option. They're professional, they're friendly, they're probably going to be a little bit cheaper than a company that rhymes with Office Max or Office Depot. They're going to have a selection of paper for you, and you're probably not going to have too long a wait, but it's possible that you will be in line with your order behind businesses that are getting stationery or whatever printed. And I've also raised this issue that I think is important for us to talk about as a hobby and share what we know. And that is this question of paper quality, the cardstock. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. Let's start the discussion. Put your comments below. Tell us what worked, what hasn't worked for you, and what issues are still out there for you to conquer. Thank you so much for being with me. I hope you have a good night. Don't forget to check out channel membership on my channel. You can get all sorts of free PDFs from me every month. You get exclusive videos, and you get discounts on the secondary store. Have a good night. Thanks again for being with me. Tonight, there will be a game on my channel at 6 p.m. Central, so come on back and check that out. Have a good day. So long, everybody.